Hello, everybody. Dialectic Diabetic here. Um, when I was leaving Colorado, coming over here to Florida, my doctor asked me a pretty interesting question. He said, "How do I get my diabetic patients who are not under control to stop overeating or over bolusing, taking too much insulin when they're high or low or whatever like that, which makes you ride the wave, you know what I mean?" Um, and I pretty much told him, yeah, good luck, bud. you know, uh, that's the hardest thing with us, especially with these fancy CGMs that we got now. You know, when we're experiencing a low or whatever, our brain just kicks in and says, we need to eat. Well, then a diabetic's brain says, well, I can have ice cream. I can have cake now. Oh, you know what? Pizza's on the counter. Let's go jam on that real quick. Well, it's not a good habit to get into. Um, with these CGMs, they will tell you, hey, 3 arrows, 2 arrows, 1 arrow, whatever, down at your blood glucose reading. And and it also tells you like active insulin, what's still in your system. So like my experience, I'll see 3 arrows down at 100, and I have 2 active units of insulin. Well, our brains just start going, bam, hey, eat now, let's go. Even though you may not feel bad or anything like that, you want to eat, and you want to eat all the stuff that you normally can't eat or don't eat. But then you take in entirely too many carbs, and boom, here you go. You're skyrocketing, because here come 20, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour later, 2 hours later, you got 3 arrows going up at 170, and now you're like, crap, and now you push a bunch of buttons on your pump, take too much insulin, and here you go, back down again. So let's talk about that CGM for a minute. Experience that I had the other day is I was at work, my pump's going off, telling me, hey, you're going low. You're going low, bud, you're going low. And I was up in the air in the bucket truck, swung out of the way, checked my pump, and it said, you're at 3 arrows down at 90. I was like, well, I really don't feel bad. So I popped a couple of glucose tablets and probably about 8 grams of carbs, whatever. Popped a couple of those, continued working. Pump kept going off. Went off about 2 more times, and I was like, well, I got 5 minutes left and I don't feel bad. I'm going to continue. I'm going to finish, and then I'll check it. I finished, went down, looked at my pump, and it said 46. And 1 arrow down. Still going down. 46. Like, ain't no way. I don't feel bad. So I did the finger stick. It was at 115. Okay, so if I would have kept eating all these carbs, glucose stuff, I would have just skyrocketed that sucker. My CGM wasn't calibrated correctly, or the sensor was kind of going bad. I don't know. Another instance that I had is it told me, is like, hey, you're at 160, 3 arrows up. Or no, it's 2 arrows up, excuse me. Take some insulin, let's go. Get ready. Well, I checked my sugar, and I was actually at 110. But my CGM's telling me 2 arrows up at 160. So diabetics start kind of, we start freaking out about that. What I say, these CGMs, they are awesome. They are a great tool. Great tool. Amazing. But they read glucose differently than a finger stick does. And you need to double check your CGM with your finger sticks 100% of the time. I don't care what I'm doing. I'm up in the bucket trying to restore power to people, out fishing with my kids, playing, whatever, and I have to walk back to the truck because I forgot my damn glucose meter or whatever. I don't care. I'm going to double check it before I do anything, because a lot of times that CGM is off a little bit or a lot. Guy at work, another diabetic guy, he kept saying, "Man, my sugar's going low, his pump's going off. And sugar's going low." He kept eating stuff. He just kept eating candies and this and that and whatever. And he kept saying it low. And I told him, I was like, dude, go, why don't you check it, man? Just go check it. It's okay. Just go check it. He's an apprentice. He don't want to leave the job site, you know. Go check it. He went and checked it. And because he was eating all that candy and all that other stuff, he's at 350. Because he didn't double check it. Double check that stuff. Now, another important thing. That's a lot with diabetics with pumps, the CGMs and stuff like that. You know, always double check your stuff. And this kind of goes broad range here with diabetes. Know how many carbs you're taking in for how low you really are, or how low you really are, or know how much insulin you're taking in and how much it's going to take you down for how high you really are. You know, I go through test strips like nobody's business. My doctor is why do you check it so much? You know, hey, what's my A1C? And yeah. But you got to know how much 1 unit of insulin is going to bring down your blood sugar. You know, everybody's different. I can't give you a blanket number on that. There's a formula and everything like that. Your doctor can tell you this is the way it is, whatever, but every body is different. So what I notice a lot too in experience myself is going low, trending low. Okay, I'm at 70. All right, I took insulin, I don't know, an hour ago, 4 units, so I probably have 2 left. Because insulin lasts 2 hours in your system for most people. Well, I sit there and think that, and I'm like, alright, cool. I can have, there's some cookies on the counter. Yeah, I'm gonna have me a couple of them. Well, then my sugar would just, here we go. Sorry, a little bitty snake just kind of took off out of the deal here, Florida. But then my sugar would just spike like crazy, 300-400, and I'd be like, man, I don't understand this disease. I can't figure this out. Blah blah blah. Well, lo and behold, I ate like 6-7 cookies. It's a lot of carbs, lots of sugars, lots of bad stuff for you. You know. And then I would be like, oh shoot, I'm at 300. Oh man, 10 units of insulin. Tanking down again. Because I freak out. I don't want to go to the hospital because it's too high. I want to get it back down. Well, then now I'm back low again. And guess what? I'm making sandwiches. I'm eating pizza. I'm doing this and that. And taking in entirely too much carbs. You know, like, if you buy the cheap sandwich bread, you're looking at just one sandwich, just in the bread alone, not even the meat, you're looking at about 25 grams of carbs, more or less. But my wife's buying this fancy artisan bread crap now, and it's 50 grams per 2 slices. You know, so keep that in mind too. Learn to read your labels. I have another video about that back in the past. Check it out. But that's why I do a lot of times just the glucose tabs. You know, it's 4 grams fast-acting carbs per tablet. Take those in it, and even though you misjudge it and go high, those things make it really easy to bring back down low because they are in your system, they're out. They just get you to food, essentially. Okay, then you can just eat your normal veggies, whatever, like that. But don't use your lows as an excuse just to chow down on a bunch of food, you know, because it's going to affect you the opposite way. You know, that little gremlin in your brain sitting there saying, oh, eat, 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 eat. And you're sitting there trying to chow down and going all crazy and, you know, yeah, oh, this food's so good, blah, blah, blah. But then you just spike terribly. All I had was 4 sandwiches. Yeah, peanut butter toast. Yeah. And know how different things react in your body. Like peanut butter, slow release into your system. So the bread will get you back up. Like if you eat peanut butter toast, bread will get you back up. But that peanut butter in there will continue to rise throughout the day. Like it stays in your system and releases really slowly. That's why like bodybuilders use it in their protein shakes and stuff like that, and athletes and stuff, because it keeps that protein going throughout the day. But yeah, just make sure you know how to count your carbs. Tell that gremlin in your head, hey, hold on a minute, let me think about this, because I still do it today. I look, well, you know, house right over there has got all kinds of nice treats, and when working out in this beautiful acreage I got now, sometimes sugar goes low, and I want a bunch of different things, and you know, stick to the tablets or just a minimal amount of carbs. Like I know that like one sandwich ain't gonna fill me up, but I know that one sandwich is more or less, with this meat and everything, 28 to 30 grams of carbs. So depending on how low it is, I know if that's okay to do for now, and take a little break in the cool and everything like that. And another thing, it's hot, summertime. Stay hydrated, get hydrated. Drink more water than you think you need, because that will help your blood sugars out tremendously. I mean, I can't believe, like, if I'm just a little bit dehydrated during the day, my sugars they're climbing. If it's you know, and I just drink a whole bunch of water, electrolyte supplements. Rhino Power has a really good supplement that I've been taking since I moved to Florida. Just electrolytes. It's a pill. Take it in, and you drink 6-8 ounces of water. It's got the same electrolytes, better stuff than like Gatorade and stuff like that. It really works. It's really good stuff. Check it out. But yeah, guys, just learn how much carbs are gonna spike your sugar. Like, let's say 10 grams of carbs, how much is that gonna spike your sugar? How many points or whatever? And vice versa. 1 unit of insulin, how much does my blood sugar go down with 1 unit? And also, you got to take into account what you've already eaten during the day, because like I said, you have a slow release food that's still working in your system. One unit of insulin isn't going to do the same as if you had eaten like a lean meat, a veggie, or something like that, or you know. So it's really hard. Families of diabetics, be patient. I know it's kind of like funny in a way when you wake up in the morning, you see the kitchen just tore up, wrappers laying places, drawers all open, food left on the counter and things like that, because we had a load during the night. But really pay attention to what they're eating too, you know, how things are working with them, and maybe do your research and talk about it, maybe, because support groups huge for a diabetic. Don't come at us all strong, because you know blood sugar's not right. We get kind of angry, you know. But yeah, guys, if you really want to take care of yourself, you really want to figure this out, you know, the pump's a great tool. The CGM is a great tool. You can, even the combination of CGM and injections, I mean, you could do it multiple different ways, but learning your body, learning that it's not always the pump's fault when things aren't going good. No pump's going to be able to keep up with those sharp spikes. Right now, the technology is just not there. No pump's going to shut off when the lows start happening. It takes a minute for your CGM sugars to read accurately in your thing. Like, I'll look at my CGM sometimes and I'm like, man, I don't think that I took some insulin, because I was reading 150, 160, whatever. I took a little bit of insulin, but now it's reading 165, 170. I don't feel like it's that high. And I'll check, and sure enough, it's about 140, but the CGM already read it going up, and it's giving you that reading from 5-10 minutes ago. And then, but the problem is it goes that high, and you start freaking out, and you give yourself more insulin, and here we go. Gonna have a big crash. So, I know it's annoying, it hurts. I don't know if you could, I can't get it. You could kind of see, like, on my fingers there, how much I stick. It is got all kinds of scabs and scar tissue and stuff, but it's what you got to do to make sure that you're safe, If you hear my pump right now, it's because my sensor is inside charging. So sorry about that, but yeah, guys, just try to tell that little voice in the back of your head that says that you need crazy amounts of stuff, or you're just gonna go in and devour a bunch of food and everything like that. Try to get that little gremlin to shut up for a minute and really think about it and go, okay, how much carbs am I really taking in? Because I think, like, one slice of pizza, it just pepperoni and cheese, is like 52 to 55, something like that. 52 grams of carbs. That's a lot. To bring it up from 70. Okay, remember, 80 is okay. Okay, 80 is okay. Don't freak out when you're at 80 after you eat or whatever. Take your insulin, you eat, you go down to 80. People freak out, they eat more, and they didn't give their insulin time to work. This is what they did, and now you're gonna go up. So lots of finger sticks. No. Have a CGM. Why should I have to worry about it? CGM is just a tool for when you're working and busy, to give you an idea of where things are at. But always double check your CGM. Always, always, always double check it with the finger stick. Guys, that could be the difference of you riding a wave all day or feeling great. And get used to counting carbs. And what does it do to your body? Diabetic here. Bye from Florida.